Well, welcome back to Life on Cars. Hope you're all keeping well. And in today's video, we're back on the Rolls-Royce and it's time to get stuck in to the back brakes. I need to get these sorted for the MOT. So without further ado, let's go. Well, we've got the car safely supported and the back wheel off for the first time since my ownership. So let's have a look in and see what we can find. Cobwebs. It's like a biosphere for spiders, this car, or it was previously. Okay, good news first. Yeah, that disc is serviceable. That's not too bad at all. It's just got a layer, because it's been stood a while, it's just got a layer of rust there, but there's no severe grooves or lips. So that is a perfectly serviceable brake disc. That's good news. Okay, let's have a look around at the pads. This is what happens when cars are left stood for a long time. Oh god, yeah, I can see straight away that the brake pads are right at the end of their life. Wow. Yeah, this one's almost right down to the back. So yeah, it's definitely going to need some brake pads. And the other thing while I'm here is I need to sort the handbrake out. I think the whole thing, all the way back, linkages and things, will need to be checked to make sure that they're free. So yeah. Yeah, that you can see a little bit of material left on the outer pad, but the inner pad is right on the end, on its limit. Hopefully it hasn't scored the inside of the disc. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, the inside of the disc's absolutely fine. So that's lucky that the brake pads have not got to the point where they're scoring the disc yet. So that's good news. These just need a little bit of clean up around the edges, but the discs, well on this side anyway, is good. Drive shaft boots appear to be intact once they've been decobwebbed and whatnot. Look at the state of the handbrake mechanism there. It's absolutely coated in crap and grease, so all that'll need degreasing so we can see what's going on with the handbrake. But yeah, other than that, it's not looking too bad from what I can see so far. Yeah, it's a similar story on the near side rear. Pads are down and we're full of cobwebs. So gone with IntroCar again for my brake pads. Now, do you know, Rolls-Royce, they don't make life easy. So yeah, from what I can see on the brakes, we do need to put a pair of handbrake pads in as well. I'll explain why in a minute. And obviously the main disc pads. So yeah, Rolls-Royce, can you believe it? Just for one side on the back, we need 4 pads. Because something I've never seen before, the handbrake actually works by having 2 smaller brake pads, which are tapered, as you can see. Those actually are applied to the disc with a mechanical mechanism of a complex nature that I've never seen before on any car. So you need 2 of them per side for the handbrake. Prestige parts, IntroCar, they send you a spring kit as well, which is useful because we don't know if anything's going to break or... And then obviously we've got the main pads for the discs, and again, IntroCar do the job properly. You get brand new pins, you get brand new springs and the clips as well for the pins. So yeah, a normal car with 4 brake discs, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, that would be 8 brake pads in total. So, you know, so 4 on the front and 4 on the back. But no, a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit, oh no sir, oh no sir, nothing as simple as that. So on the front of the Rolls-Royce, there's twin calipers on each side. So that means there's 8 pads just for the front. And then obviously, as you can see, there is 8 pads in total for the rear. So that's 16 brake pads on the Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit. Right, I've had a bit of a degrease down on the cable because it was absolutely covered in old grease. Just to sort of show you how complex this handbrake is. So this is the cable here coming from the front of the car, which is a foot operated handbrake. So when you pull the handbrake, so you've got a pivot here, then you've got another pivot there with a spring attached to it. Then there's another pivot there and another pivot there. And what that does, that actually activates this mechanism here via a rod. So you can see the rod there. It's all mechanical. And that then forces the tiny little brake pads, which you can just see, they're a bit mucky because they're probably the original ones. So there's one there and there's one there. So it's like a little mechanical caliper that squeezes these little brake pads onto the disc at the bottom of the car there. So this is the adjuster here, this fella. So I've had a close look at this. Oh, you can see the pads a bit better there. Let's get them. There you are, look, there's the brake pads. And you can see the inner brake pad has started to deteriorate, break up a little bit. You can just about see there on the edge. See that? Not looking good at all. So yeah, a new set of handbrake pads. I mean, these pads don't rub on the disc as such, you know, it's not as if they use when the disc is spinning. So when the disc is turning like that, the main brake pads brake the car. Obviously, all those little pads are doing there is when you put the handbrake on, they are clamping. You can see moving in and out of there. They are clamping the disc so the car doesn't roll away. Let's get this wound off. There we are. That's that rod's come out now. Then there's a washer and a spring, which we'll take off because I think we've got a new spring. And then, all right, we can get the pad out from underneath already. Or can we? No, that's on a little spring as well. I'll show you where that is. So this is swung out now that I've disconnected that rod. And there's a little spring that goes through the... See that there? There's a little spring which I think, looking at it, is attached to the back of the pad. So we just need to pop that off and then the brake pad should come out. I'm doing the hard bit first here, doing the handbrake pads, because I don't know what I'm doing really. Just seeing what happens. Oh, there we are. That's the... Get out. There we are. So there's the first pad out. Lucas. Yeah. So I reckon that'll be an original handbrake pad, you know. See, they've got material left on, but you can see what's happened. They've ended up being quite badly contaminated. So I'm presuming that oh, there we are. Yep, that's coming out. Yeah, it's that one's attached to that big spring, isn't it, that comes through the back there. At least all the mechanism's free. It wants a bit more degreasing though, doesn't it? It's quite mucky up here, so I'll be getting some brake cleaner on that shortly. Oh god, yeah, that pad's in a bad way, isn't it? Look at that. Dear me. Yeah, the material's starting to break up and fall off. You can see what I mean, it's just contaminated with rust. Mainly because the car's been stood for a long time, but like I say, these are at the end of their life now with age and whatnot. Right, we're much cleaner now on the mechanism, as you can see, and everything is ready to proceed. So I'm going to put some new pads in, and then I will be lightly greasing all the pivot points on this mechanism as well. These are new parts ready to go. So we've got a rear pad with a big spring on it, and then the front pad has a small spring. And then that one is the spring that goes behind the adjuster. So let's see if we can get these in. Just need to locate this new spring over there now. There we are. Alright, that's the front and back pads. It's actually easy to show you from the forward position, so I'll get the light in for you so you can see. So yeah, you can see the new pad in the front there. There's like two little teeth, if you want to call it, on the back of the pad, or cutouts, and they just kind of locate on the bracket there. The tricky thing for this pad was getting that spring reattached. So there's basically a spring that attaches on the back of the pad, and it comes through this bracket, and you've got to try and fish it through there and then hook it on. It took me a few goes. And then the back pad, you can see there, just sitting in behind the disc, and there's the back pad there. You can see the spring that comes through the other side. So yeah, they're a funny little thing, aren't they? They almost look like they're not in right because there's a big gap here, but yeah, trust me, that's how they are. That's right, with the taper like that. So yeah, what a really unusual system for putting a pair of little dinky brake pads onto the back of the disc for the emergency brake, or the handbrake, or the parking brake, whatever you want to call it, wherever you live. So we just need to pop our new spring on the adjuster. Then the washer. And then we need to feed that through. Like that. And then we can put the adjuster back on here. And And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tighten this up until I can't turn the disc anymore, and then back it off. Right, that's nipped the disc already. So I'm just going to back that off a little bit. Feels about right, that now. So will you guys just keep a watch on that mechanism for me and shout up if you see it moving when I press the handbrake. Did it move? Right, I'm going to release the handbrake now from inside the car. Just let me know if it moves. Did it come off? That seems to be working properly. It's locking the discs up when you put the handbrake on anyway. And it's releasing good and going on good, so I'm happy with that. Just going to pop a little bit of grease on all the pivot points, but I'm not going to do what the previous mechanic did, which was just to smear everything with as much grease as he could get on his hand. Because what a mess. It took me hours and hours to clean all this down. Hours. So yeah, not the best idea, mate, whoever you were. A bit lazy if I'm being honest. So yeah, I'm much happier with this now. We can actually see the mechanism, we can keep an eye on it, we can keep greasing the pivot points when we service the car. Alright, this should be a lot more straightforward instead of messing around down here. So we've got our two pads here, 4 pistons, so it'll be a case of squeezing the pad back to push the piston back, and then taking these pins out, taking these spring clips out. The pins are held in by a couple of little clips, which we'll take out. There's one. And the other one's backwards, so I just need to turn that around a little bit to get that clip out. On some cars that use a pin like this, the pins can seize, but on this Rolls-Royce they don't feel like they've seized, so that's good news. There's the bottom one out. Right, I'm just going to use a pair of these eagle beaks just to bring the pad off the disc. And I'm just going to do the same on this side just to make sure that the pistons are free. Yep, they feel like they are. That's good. See what happens though, if I push this one, it starts to bring these pistons back out. So I'm just going to do one side at a time. Right, let's get the pins out. So I'm just going to use a pair of mold just to start to wiggle them out. and then we can get them all hold of them at the end. Just make a note of how these springs work, so they just go around the back of each pad. So let's withdraw these pins now. There we go. Pop one out. Bit dry and rusty, but we've got some new ones, so that's good. Oh, one of them springs has just flown out. There's the other one. Should be able to extract this pad now. Oh dear, look at that. It's absolutely finito, that one, isn't it? Well done. Okay, we'll have a bit of a clean out in there and make sure them piston seals are looking okay. Which on first inspection looks like they are. I think I'll put the new one in the back first and then press it over. Because if I start to press this one back, it'll bring them pistons out and then I won't be able to get the new pad in. So we'll leave that one there for now. Get this side a little bit cleaned down and prepped for a new pad. So I'm just having a bit of a scrape round here, just where the pad slides in, just to make sure there's no rust build up. Same on the top. Just getting rid of any cobwebs that seem to have decided to make a home in there. Popping my fingers in to make sure them piston seals are correctly back over the top of the pistons, because I don't want the new pad to balk on those, and they feel like they are somewhere where they need to be now. You see the pistons there, there's a little bit more debris in there, get rid of that. Yeah, they don't look in too bad condition at all, those piston seals and the pistons, but a future project, I am fancying a full strip down of these calipers and replace all the piston seals, but that's a project for another day. Just going to put a little bit of brake grease on the back of the new pad, just so it doesn't stick to the caliper seals. Oh, the builders are making a lot of noise today over the road. Sorry for all the banging and whatnot, and noises, if you can hear it going on. Just put a tiny bit along that edge there, look, where it slides into the caliper, and that should be enough. So once the pad's slid in, I always just like to take a screwdriver and just make sure that it's free to move. As you can see there, it's not jammed, because if it's jammed, what it means is the piston isn't going to be able to push the pad onto the disc properly. The other thing is on these is to just have a bit of a look down that gap there and just make sure that you're happy that the piston seals haven't been snagged. And that they still look to be in the right place. So might well just make them out there, that we get the light in a little bit. It's important to do this because you don't want piston problems. So can you see there that the seals are nicely located on those pistons? They haven't been dragged off, if you know what I mean, by the pad going in. So you just need to be careful with these because it's easily done. So that's the new one in the back. So now I can squeeze this pad this way and extract this pad. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Second pad going in. Okay, I'm just keeping an eye on those piston seals again, just to make sure that they're not getting caught up, which it looks like they're absolutely fine. You can have a look from the inside as well if you're not sure. Yeah, that's Good. So we've got new pins and clips from IntroCar, so we'll get these installed. And then to finish off, we're just going to fit a couple of new little retaining clips which come in the box. So we just need to pop them through those little pins, like so. 1, 2. Right, I've got to do the whole job again now on the other side. That was a big task, just because of all the degreasing, but anyway, it's done now. So I think a little bit of a cosmetic tidy up on the brake disc, and then I'll bring you in for one final look. Well, there we are then. It looks like the handbrake's sorted and working properly, and we've got some new pads in there. Everything's freed off, so hopefully that should be good enough for an MOT. And then I think later on down the line, once I've got this car up and running, I will probably do some other maintenance on the brakes. I'll probably work on the flexi hoses, probably replace those, and I might even get around to doing piston seals in the future as well, just for preventative maintenance. But for now, that's going to be just the ticket for getting it through its MOT. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click those buttons, share, and if you're new to the channel, check out the playlists, because there's plenty going on in Life on Cars that you might find interesting. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and I'll join you very soon again with something else on Life on Cars. Bye bye now. Bye bye.